Chen had everything figured out. At 32, she ran a successful marketing agency, lived in a beautiful downtown apartment, and had been married to David for 7 years. Everyone called them the perfect couple. On a rainy Tuesday evening, Maya came home early from a cancelled meeting. The apartment was quiet. She noticed David's jacket on the couch, his shoes by the door. He was supposed to be at work. She heard laughter coming from their bedroom. Her heart began to race. Maya pushed open the door. There was David with a woman Maya had never seen before. The world stopped. The woman screamed. David's face turned white. "Maya, I can explain," David stammered, pulling on his clothes. But Maya didn't wait for explanations. She walked out of the bedroom, grabbed her car keys and left. Her hands shook as she drove. 7 years of marriage. 7 years of trust. All destroyed in one moment. That night, Maya stayed in a hotel. She couldn't cry. She felt numb. As she sat by the window watching the city lights, something changed inside her. She wasn't going to fall apart. She was going to fight back. Maya didn't return home for 3 days. Instead, she hired a private investigator named Sarah Liu, a sharp woman in her 40s who had seen countless cheating cases. "I need to know everything," Maya told Sarah at their first meeting. How long, who she is, where they meet, everything. Sarah worked fast. Within a week, Maya had a thick folder of evidence. The woman's name was Jessica Torres, a 26-year-old junior architect at David's firm. They had been together for 14 months. They met every Tuesday and Thursday at a downtown hotel. David had been using their joint savings account to pay for it all. Maya's anger grew colder, sharper. She studied the photos, the receipts, the text messages Sarah had recovered. David had written to Jessica about leaving Maya, about starting fresh, about how Maya was too focused on work and didn't understand him anymore. Her phone rang constantly. David called, texted, begged her to come home. Maya ignored every message. She met with her best friend Rachel at a quiet cafe. "What are you going to do?" Rachel asked, concerned. Maya's eyes were hard. "I'm going to make sure he regrets every lie he ever told me. But I'm going to do it smart. No drama. No scenes. Just strategy." Rachel had never seen Maya like this before. The gentle, trusting woman she knew had transformed into someone harder, colder, more determined. Maya hired Jennifer Park, the best divorce lawyer in the city. Jennifer had a reputation for being ruthless and brilliant. "You have an excellent case," Jennifer said, reviewing the evidence. "Adultery, financial misconduct, emotional abuse. We can get you everything." "I don't just want a divorce," Maya said quietly. "I want him to understand what he's lost. I want him to feel what I felt." Jennifer nodded. "Then we need to be strategic. Don't let him know you're planning anything. Keep communication minimal. Document everything. And whatever you do, don't let your emotions drive your decisions." Maya followed the advice perfectly. She returned home after a week. David was desperate, apologetic, crying. "Baby, please, it was a mistake. Love you. I'll do anything," he begged. Maya looked at him calmly. "I need time to think. I'll sleep in the guest room." David looked relieved. He thought she might forgive him. But Maya was playing a different game. She smiled politely, made small talk, and secretly documented everything. She copied financial records, saved emails, recorded conversations. Every piece of evidence went to Jennifer. At work, Maya threw herself into her business. She signed 2 major clients, expanded her team, and increased her company's value. She needed to be financially independent, completely untouchable. Her colleagues noticed the change in her. Maya had always been professional, but now she was fierce. She negotiated harder, demanded more, accepted nothing less than excellence. 3 weeks after discovering the affair, Maya invited David to dinner at their favorite restaurant. He arrived hopeful, thinking she was ready to forgive him. They ordered wine. David reached for her hand across the table. "Maya, I know I hurt you, but we can get past this. We can go to counseling, rebuild trust. Maya pulled her hand away gently. She opened her purse and placed a folder on the table. Open it, she said calmly. David's face changed as he looked through the contents. Photos of him and Jessica. Bank statements. Text messages. Hotel receipts. 14 months of lies, all documented. His hands trembled. How did you? You used our savings account, David. Our joint account. 4 hotel rooms with your girlfriend. Maya's voice was ice. You wrote her love letters using the computer I bought you for your birthday. You told her you loved her in the bed we shared. Maya, please. I'm not finished. She leaned forward. You told her I didn't understand you, that I was too focused on work. But you know what's interesting? While you were busy cheating, I was building a business that's now worth 3 times what it was when we married. While you were lying to me, I was supporting your career, your dreams, your family. David looked broken. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I don't want your apologies, Maya said. I want a divorce. My lawyer will contact you tomorrow. Don't bother coming home tonight. I've changed the locks. She stood up, placed money on the table for her meal, and walked out. David sat alone, stunned, as other diners pretended not to watch. The divorce became the talk of their social circle. David tried to paint himself as the victim, claiming Maya's work obsession had driven him away. But Maya had evidence, and evidence didn't lie. In mediation sessions, David's lawyer tried to claim equal division of assets. Jennifer shut it down immediately. My client built her business before and during the marriage through her own effort. Your client, meanwhile, used marital funds to conduct an extramarital affair. We have documentation of every expense. David's family called Maya, begging her to be reasonable. Your son wasn't reasonable when he cheated, Maya told David's mother firmly. Don't ask me to be what he never was. The hardest part wasn't the legal battle. It was facing her own pain. Some nights, Maya would sit alone in her apartment and finally let herself cry. She had loved David. She had trusted him completely. The betrayal cut deep. Rachel stayed with her during the worst nights. You're the strongest person I know, Rachel said. I don't feel strong, Maya admitted. I feel broken. Strong people feel broken sometimes. But they don't stay broken. Maya attended therapy, worked with a counselor to process her emotions. She learned that revenge wasn't just about hurting David back. It was about rebuilding herself, becoming someone who could never be destroyed like this again. At work, she received a major award for her business achievements. When she gave her acceptance speech, she didn't mention David once. That absence said everything. 2 months into the divorce proceedings, Maya learned something interesting. David's affair with Jessica hadn't just cost him his marriage. Sarah, the private investigator, called with news. You might want to know this. Jessica Torres filed a complaint at David's company. Apparently, he promised to leave you and marry her. When she found out he was trying to reconcile with you, she got angry. The complaint revealed that David had used his senior position to begin the relationship with Jessica, who was his subordinate. The company launched an investigation. Maya didn't have to do anything. David's lies caught up with him on their own. Within a week, David was placed on administrative leave. His reputation in the architecture community took a serious hit. Firms talked. Word spread. The man who had seemed so charming and successful was revealed to be someone who abused his position and betrayed his wife. Jessica herself called Maya one afternoon. I need to talk to you, Jessica said nervously. They met at a neutral location. Jessica looked young and scared, nothing like the homewrecker Maya had imagined. He told me you two were practically separated, Jessica said, crying. He said you didn't love each other anymore, that it was just a matter of paperwork. I believed him. Maya felt unexpected sympathy. He lied to both of us. I'm sorry, Jessica whispered. I know that doesn't mean anything, but I am. Maya took a deep breath. You're young. You'll recover from this. Learn from it. Never let a man make you the other woman. You deserve better than that. Jessica looked surprised by Maya's kindness. They parted ways, two women who had both been hurt by the same man's selfishness. 6 months after discovering David's affair, Maya's life looked completely different. She sold the apartment she had shared with David and bought a beautiful loft with floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the river. She decorated it exactly how she wanted, with bold colors and modern art. No compromises. No considering anyone else's taste. Her business grew exponentially. She hired 10 new employees, opened a second office, and landed an international client. The success felt sweet because it was entirely hers. Maya started taking care of herself in new ways. She joined a boxing gym and found power in physical strength. Every punch she threw at the bag released more anger, more pain, more of the past. She traveled to places she'd always wanted to visit. Paris, Tokyo, Barcelona. David had never wanted to travel internationally. Now Maya went alone and discovered she enjoyed her own company. She made new friends, women who were building their own lives, who understood strength and independence. They supported each other, celebrated each other's victories, held each other during setbacks. Rachel noticed the change. "You're glowing," she said over coffee one morning. Maya smiled. "I'm happy. Truly happy. Not pretending, not performing. Just genuinely content with my life. No interest in dating. Not yet. Maybe someday. But right now I'm falling in love with myself again. I forgot how to do that when I was busy trying to save a marriage that was already dead." The divorce was finalized on a sunny Tuesday morning. Maya wore a white suit to the courthouse. She felt like she was attending a graduation, not an ending. This was the beginning of her real life. 1 year after discovering David's betrayal, Maya stood on a stage accepting a major business award. Her company had been named one of the fastest-growing agencies in the country. In her acceptance speech, she spoke about resilience. "The greatest revenge is becoming the person you're meant to be. It's building a life so full, so rich, so completely yours that the people who tried to break you become irrelevant." The audience gave her a standing ovation. Among them were other women who had faced betrayal, who had fought back, who had rebuilt. David, meanwhile, had lost his job permanently. The investigation at his firm revealed a pattern of inappropriate behavior. His new apartment was small, his career stalled. He tried to contact Maya several times, sending long emails about regret and mistakes. Maya never responded. He didn't deserve her words, her time, her energy. She heard through mutual friends that he blamed her for his downfall. He called her vindictive, cruel, unforgiving. Maya didn't care. His opinion of her no longer mattered. One evening, she attended a gallery opening with Rachel. A man approached her, kind eyes, genuine smile. "I'm sorry to bother you," he said. "But I attended your speech last month. It was incredible. I'm Thomas." They talked for hours. About art, about business, about life. Maya felt something she hadn't felt in years. Genuine interest, real connection. When Thomas asked for her number, she hesitated only for a moment before saying yes. "I'm not looking for anything serious," she told him honestly. "Neither am I," he smiled. "But I'd like to get to know you." As Maya walked home that night, she realized something important. Her revenge on David wasn't about destroying him. It was about refusing to be destroyed. It was about rising higher than he ever thought possible. It was about proving that she was never just David's wife. She was Maya Chen. Businesswoman, survivor, warrior. The blossom had grown armor, but beneath that armor, she was still blooming. 2 years after her divorce, Maya stood in her corner office, looking out at the city skyline. Her company now had offices in 3 cities. She'd been featured in major business magazines. She'd written a book about rebuilding after betrayal that became a bestseller. Her relationship with Thomas had grown slowly, carefully. He was patient, honest, and treated her like an equal partner. They took their time. There was no rush. Maya had learned that the right person would respect her pace. she still saw her therapist monthly. Healing wasn't a straight line, and Maya was committed to doing the work. Rachel had become her business partner. Together they were unstoppable. Maya rarely thought about David anymore. When she did, it was with detachment. He was a chapter in her book, not the whole story. She received a letter one day. From David. She almost threw it away but decided to read it. It was an apology. A real one. He took responsibility for his actions, acknowledged the pain he caused, and asked for nothing in return. He had started therapy, he wrote. He was trying to become better. Maya appreciated the letter but didn't respond. She hoped he found peace, but his journey was no longer connected to hers. That evening, she hosted a dinner party at her loft. 20 women attended, all successful in their fields, all survivors of different battles. They shared food, stories, laughter, and support. "Let's make a toast," Rachel said, raising her glass. "To Maya, who taught us all what real strength looks like." "No," Maya interrupted gently. "To all of us. To every woman who refused to stay broken. To everyone who turned their pain into power. To blooming, even when the world tries to crush us." The women raised their glasses. In that room was collective strength, shared wisdom, and unbreakable bonds. Maya looked around at the life she'd built from the ashes of betrayal. It was better than anything she could have imagined back when she thought her world was ending. The armor had served its purpose. Now it was part of her, not a defense mechanism but a reminder of her own resilience. She was no longer the woman who had been betrayed. She was the woman who had transformed that betrayal into her greatest strength. And that was the sweetest revenge of all.